Today is the day I am finally heading down to Reed's and swapping bikes with him. He has a beautiful Triumph 400X Scrambler. I'm gonna get cruising. It's a little bit late. Well, it's a late day in November. It's 5 p.m. and the sun's already going down. I've been super busy, swamped with actual work. And if I don't get this done today, it's not looking good. We have snow coming in this weekend, right after Thanksgiving. I'm gonna get cruising. I'll see you guys at Reed's.
Tom, good to see you. As
See you,
always.
dude. Well, thank you for the opportunity to try out the Triumph.
Yeah.
For a few weeks, and I hope you enjoy the IBEX.
The IBEX is a freaking blast, man. I'll tell you all about it here after this.
You've done quite a few modifications on the Triumph. You've owned it how long now?
I've owned it for about 2 years. Bought it brand new as the first one in the state of Colorado.
And this is a 24 model.
Yep.
Okay.
And for about half that time, it was down for a broken instrument cluster, which, well, actually not the instrument cluster itself. That's the brain of the bike, but there's also a little bit of a immobilizer ring around the key that broke too, which I know a lot of Tiger 900 owners have experienced that break as well. So it's a common issue. But yeah, no, it was down waiting for the parts to become available because they were so in demand across the world. So I didn't have this bike for the first year I owned it.
So that just happened from usage, or
the Metzler Carews that came on the bike have a release compound in the tire that is slicker than grease.
Oh.
And I found out in the roundabout, even after my brain told me to slow down. And I'm not the only one to experience this. All you have to do is dive on some forums to see that that's kind of just an issue with those tires. So you really got to be careful scrubbing in the new tires on this.
You want to do a quick rundown of some of the upgrades you've done on the bike? We're going to keep it short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
I'm going to take the bike out hopefully tomorrow for a little bit of off-road riding, street riding. And at the end, Reed really wanted to share my experience of my initial thoughts of the ergonomics, the rideability of this bike. He's not going to tell me much about that, what his thoughts are, but just basic upgrades, what he's done through a couple of years of ownership.
Right. So I'm going to give you guys what I've done to this bike, but not my personal thoughts on it. We'll come back to that after you've had a bit more time understanding these as well. All right, so we'll go from the front to the back. Obviously, the biggest aesthetic thing here are the VMX wheels. These are crosspoke tubeless rims. They're beautiful. If I were to do it again, I'd go for the Excels from Rally Raid, even though they're super hard to get. You can see over my shoulder here, there's a hoop that's on the wall, and that's because it's just bent. And that happened after a week. Now, part of that was user error. Deflators had deflated too much, but that was kind of a bummer. I got them from Rim Motorcycle. Rim Motorcycle is fantastic. They were super helpful in sending out another hoop, and I had my buddies start to restring those. That was a very difficult process since they're cross-spoke designs. So every time you tighten up one side of it, it kind of makes it's hard to get them trued correctly. So moving on from that, there's a lot of Amazon stuff on here. I did a lot of researching from what the Indian market and overseas market were talking about with their upgrades, and I was kind of using that as my gauge of what was worth spending money on. So I have these front fork protectors. I actually really like them. They were an Amazon buy. I can't remember the name, but we'll get all that stuff for you guys in a list here. The front windscreen is a Carbon Racing, I believe, windscreen from Amazon, and this is just a recent add-on that you can kind of add, a little bit more wind deflection to help on the highway. Moving on forward with the bike, I've got a Carpi Ride on here. I think it's a 603 6-inch display, basically. It's got a forward-facing and rear-facing camera integrated, which is nice. I do have the Fuel Pro X on here, so I can dial up and down my fuel. I don't know how much that actually does for anything, but it's there. This is a gold fat bar. I just like it because, the gold kind of completes the look of this bike, and part of the reason you get a Scrambler is for the looks, obviously. So I think it really did a good job accentuating the look. It also sits on a pair of Rally Raid risers. So these are Rally Raid risers. They actually are the same stock height, but you can reverse them. You can have them go forward or back. There's some adjustability there. So Rally Raid, you'll hear that name a bunch on this bike because that's what it is. It's a Rally Raid bike. The front forks are upgraded to Rally Raid inserts with, I think it was Nitron was the company that basically helped Rally Raid develop these. I've got compression and rebound adjustability on both these as well as preload adjustability. I'm running the heaviest spring on them right now, and I'm not going to tell you what I think about that.
All right, heaviest spring.
Moving down the bike here, we have an upper wheel guard. That's another Amazon buy. I think this was similar to the K-Sport. I want to say it's the K-Sport bike that basically took the Rally Raid and made a really cool version out of it. That's where the motivation came to have that come into play.
Motov's Adventure Tractionator.
The Tractionator, yep.
Motov's Tractionator Adventure, I believe.
And they're good tires. I will retain my opinion on them until I hear back from you on what you actually think. I have engine bars. The lower engine bar is the factory engine bar. And before I took this on a little BDRX in Arizona, I thought I had ordered the factory upper bars, and it turns out I ordered some other bars that were made by a company out of India, which are not bad bars, but they don't work together. So I actually had to basically fabricate this myself and tie it into the lower bar, which actually I'm pretty happy about because I think it works quite well. Very happy with the bar setup. This bike has taken a lot of slides, as you can see, a lot of dumps. It's been off-road more than it really should be, and it's handled it quite well. Some fog lights I got on Amazon here. They have a really nice DOT cutoff, excellent amber color with a high beam that is fantastic. It's like turning daylight on at night. The other nice thing about them is they have a wig-wag pattern, so if I double tap my hand here, I can actually get some flashing patterns.
Wow, okay.
So this is really helpful riding in the HOV down in Denver every day when you get to the point where other cars can start merging in and you're doing, twice the speed of them. It kind of puts you in their mirror, keeps you a little bit more out of danger, which I actually really appreciate. It's a catless exhaust system, a little extra power, not for on-road use. It's got a DNA air filter. Between those two items there, I think I picked up definitely a good amount of power in the top end. You can really feel it above about 6,000 RPMs in this bike. It's got a Sahara seat, double diamond stitch seat on it with a gel pad inside of it and a heated seat element. That really comes into play right now when you're trying to ride in the cold.
It's about 40 Fahrenheit
yeah.
outside right now.
Yeah, so you can toggle it onto low, which low will get you off the seat. High will get you there faster.
Okay. Oh, it's a little hidden right there.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. On the back of it, I've got the Rally Raid luggage racks on both sides, as well as the top rack here. I carry a tourniquet, some medical shears, some basic stuff in case things go south. I do run a 15-tooth sprocket, which is basically what the Speed 400s come with. It gives a little bit more highway ability without sacrificing too much. And honestly, I mean, this thing will it'll do 100 on a closed course. Just fine. It just takes a minute to get there. Up here at altitude, it definitely takes a little bit longer. When I was down running the BDRX in Arizona, it felt like it had an extra cylinder, which was really nice. I've got a shorty lever on the clutch side and a full-size lever on the brake side. They are both adjustable. Also the bark busters, which you can tell have been used quite a lot on this bike. The bike's taken falls just fine and actually handled it better than my Husqvarna has at different times too. So it's a very interesting ride off-road. Definitely a lot more upright, and you kind of have to ride this thing like an old school dirt bike where you don't have a lot of suspension travel and you just got to know how to weight your bike. I do have a skid plate on the bottom of it. The skid plate's taken a lot of pretty decent hits too, to the point where the subframe for the skid plate has broken. This year I'm probably going to...
That's an aftermarket skid plate?
So that's a factory skid plate, but does not come standard with the bike.
Okay, it's an option.
It's an aluminum one, and I believe it's 3/8 thickness or thereabouts. It has definitely taken some decent hits to the point where I've had to reshape it. But again, I've ridden this thing harder than I think it was ever intended to be ridden. And I'm not that skilled of a rider, so I'm sure I've beaten the hell out of it more than it should have been beaten, but it's taken it. Now, like I said, the subframe that attaches to it basically prevents that from crushing the expansion tank for the radiator. I haven't crushed the expansion tank for the radiator, but the subframe that's holding it there, I think could be beefier. So one of the things I'm going to do this winter is work with my buddies and print some kind of, or not print, but probably cut out of our plasma table some kind of a part that I can replace that bracket with that will be a little bit beefier and be able to take a bit more of a hit. I do have a new chain on it. Working around the bike, I mean, that's pretty much it. I do have the Speed 400 front brake pads in this, so it's supposed to have more front brake bite. This is one of the issues with the bike that I don't like, is it the brake bite is just not that great. I've laid it down plenty of times. You can see there's dents, there's scrapes on it. However, the tank has come out pretty scot-free. It's been on an Arizona BDRX for 3.5 days with some pretty intensive off-road where a Tiger 900 broke itself, couldn't keep up. And I only sheared off my left foot peg, which was kind of one of these ears right here. It hit a rock and it cracked it. Right now I'm developing a fix for that solution with some billet aluminum stuff. So we'll see if we can get away from that. I do like this bike. I think it's absolutely fun. It's a unique ride. It's definitely got good looks. I'm pretty happy with it. It's going to be staying in the fleet for a while.
Well, it's getting late, but 40 Fahrenheit. I better hop on and get rolling home.
We'll turn the heated grips on for you here.
All right, let's get rolling. I'm out of here. Here we go. And we're off. I can already feel the heated grips, heated seats. IBEX doesn't have this. Oh, the world of luxury. The bike has made it safely back to the AT shack. Join me in the next one as we take it on some mountain twisty roads. And of course, we're gonna hit some local OHV areas and test it out on some dirt. See you in the next one.